goodness.
The one of one is missing.
I knew something was up.
Pop, that's almost twice as much going for the same price.
I just freaking love that rated rookie logo.
Doing more buying.
Which one of these 5 quarterbacks has the worst set of pass catchers to throw the football to?
Guess how much I sniped this for an auction?
Number to 5, you dirty animal.
I'm telling you, these Optic on-card autos are money.
Football cards collecting and investing. His name is Andy. My name is Carter. We're going to give you some playoff picks here in just a moment. But Andy, the year is over. We just had 2025 Prism come out. I'm pretty excited about it. I actually do like the new design. But what is on the top of your dome when it comes to football card data?
Well, it's very interesting. 2025 Prism is going to be awesome. But when we look at 2025 in review through the lens of Slabhawk, that's tracking all of the graded football card, rookie card sold data from eBay. The year was dominated by Drake May. Obviously, he really tells the real story of 2025. But Jaden Daniels still held strong, even though he only played 7 games. Both of those players attributed to 12% of the entire card market tracked by Slabhawk this year. The entire card market of over 350 players graded rookie cards.
It's insane. Absolutely insane. Even with Caleb Williams having the year he had, even with Bo Nix getting the bye this year, it was a good year for the rookies overall, especially with Jaden being able to hold steady. Even had a little bit of glimmer with J.J. McCarthy, even though the injuries were there. And Andy, when we go back to 2025, this is why you should be a subscriber. Understand our schedule with everyone's work schedule. You and I has been with the streams a little bit different. The one thing we have been consistent on since the offseason, Drake May is who you needed to buy into. And for those that did, congratulations, you listened. And that's why I need to be a member of the Football Card Quest. So when you look at this, Andy, what really stands out to you?
Okay, check this out, Carter. Jaden Daniels' 2024 Prism base here was the most popular recorded sale. We're talking January 2025, right? So this goes back to playoff time period of his rookie season to just December 31st. This 2024 Prism base here was the most popular recorded sale with over 6,000 sales. That's a sale every 90 minutes all year long.
For a PSA 10.
This is combines 10s, 9s, and 8s.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Which is still insane. Mm-hmm. Every 90 minutes in a slab, PSA slab. And yeah, I mean, you take a look at the overall pop count. It's gotten up there. I actually thought it would be a little bit higher than what it is now. But, man, everyone just subbed it in, baby.
Yeah, no, they really did. And so this is another very interesting fact that the creator developer of this app pulled. We saw an increase in sales volume of 8% from the previous year. So increase in sales volume from 2024 to 2025. However, the total dollar value of those sales dropped by 12%.
Okay.
And so this is his translation, Carter. What do you think the translation of that means?
No, you tell me.
Okay. This is what he said. The market moved from high dollar established players to affordable rookie speculation. And I guess you could consider second year like the base Prism Jaden Daniels or base Prism Drake May, for example. The most liquid set continues to be Panini Prism with just over 236,000 sales, followed by Optic with over 175,000 sales. So he went on to say, naturally, the most of the volume in 2025 was 2024 rookies, followed by 2023 rookies.
Interesting. And I guess that's not the most shocking, but you're basically saying for the listening audience that the established vets, the Josh Allens, Lamar Jacksons, Patrick Mahomes, more of the market went in the direction of young speculation. Is that what Mr. Andy Kaysen and our friends at Slap Hawk are saying?
Exactly. Yep, that's exactly it. Because I mean, you look at Lamar, you look at Josh, they just don't have the same. Like Josh, of course, he's different animal. So is Mahomes, right? And their markets are older, more scarce, but they don't generally have the same movement. Like let's look at other guys like Baker or Lamar here. They don't have the same movement up and down as Drake May or Jaden Daniels or Caleb or Bo Nix because of the rookie nature. And I mean, it gets even more concentrated in terms of volatility when you talk about 2025 rookies, you know?
Interesting. Um, one thing when I look at and I saw this earlier today, slightly switching topics here. In a Prism hobby box for 2025, I saw this from the Hobby Wire. I want to share my screen really quickly.
Okay.
You are paying on average $7.50 per card if you are getting a 2025 Prism hobby box. Now, what I will say as far as hobby is concerned, I am glad that there is an Ashton Jeanty auto in there. Obviously, it's a completely different world with some players being Fanatic exclusive players, but keep that in mind, okay, when it comes to this. I watched a few influencers, Card Collector 2, rip through a gazillion Twitter blaster boxes or Prism blaster boxes, and you're going to come up empty-handed quite a bit. And I will also tell you this, Andy, if you are new, and we have a bunch of people that just Google football cards for beginners and we pop up, I understand 90% of our audience is people that are tried and true and been in the industry for a few years. But, Andy, I was set up at a show this past weekend, the Shreveport Card Show. Big show. Dustin Poirier was there. Pretty cool stuff. Colvin and the crew did a great job. 2 different people walked up to me, LSU fans, didn't know anything about cards, okay? And they said that they were addicted to the rip, the rush of looking for something. And I asked one of them, hey, did you really land anything? And he first off said, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you for advice. And then number 2, probably not. I was like, did you get any big autos? Did you get anything, super short print and all of that? And he said, well, not really. And he ripped through $500 of wax. And I was like, what kind of brands did you pull? Illusions, Phoenix, stuff that's easy to get on the shelves. So for the first timers that are Googling us right now, even Prism now, these 2020 Prism boxes that I have up here were not like this. A blaster was a solid $20, and that had everybody in there. So just keep that in mind when it comes to the value per rip, if you will.
Yeah, man. I think if you're new, you're getting into the hobby, I think you really have to understand the singles market. Start building a collection, take that 500. What's this guy's favorite team, Carter?
I would say the Bengals because Joe Burrow's on there. At least that's what he told me.
I mean, think of the Jamar Chase card. Maybe not Joe. Like he can get a decent Joe card. He could have got an Optic Hollow, PSA 10. He could have got a decent Joe card that's graded for 500 or less. But think of like the Jamar Chase or T Higgins or Chase Brown cards that he can pick up. For the Bengals, like with that kind of money, I mean, you can get a really nice Jamar Chase card who's on a Hall of Fame trajectory. I mean, this guy, he's still one of the best in the league, if not the best. I mean, it's debatable, right? So, I just think you really got to understand the singles market and understand you don't have to understand all 350 what odd players that you would maybe track in a fantasy league. You don't have to understand all of their markets, but I think you should have a basic understanding of the key players, probably the top 100, and look at a few different years, products, and like understand that market before you dive into building your collection off of rips, especially ultra modern rips, which, yeah, to your point, man, is just so diluted. You're so much better off investing in singles anyways. But I know some guys do, like, if you ask Ziggy, no, right? He makes a good, income doing it on the side, buying into breaks and flipping those cards, because he'll buy into breaks and then send those cards to grading directly, and then sell, like, the good ones, and then sell them when they get back. And like, his system is actually pretty good. But if you're trying to build a collection off of breaks, man, that is a uphill long road.
Type Y for yes, type N for no. You like this Prism design. Okay, Andy, I'll let you. We discussed that we do like this year's Prism design.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I do think they landed this one. I really do think so.
I'm excited to see what kind of inserts, Carter, that they have this year. Prism always has some fun inserts, like the Color Blast, and some of the golds, and see if they have any type of like, I kind of like those emoji prisms, and I kind of like some of the other inserts that they do in Optic, and I think they've got some of those in Prism now too.
One more thing. Everybody keeps bringing up Jackson Dart when it comes to this.
He's fragile.
Why are we skipping out? I'm looking at you. I want everyone to look in my eyes right here. On the reigning NFC Rookie of the Month, Mr. Tyler Shough.
Ooh.
Buy up. This isn't going to be a Drake May level play. Because I basically said, hey, if you have a speculative bankroll, you should go all in on Drake May. I'm not going to do that with Tyler Shough. There are some concerning metrics. He did play an easier schedule down the stretch. I did get to meet Tyler Shough at a Pelicans game, got to talk to him for a good 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm telling you right now, the dude has it. He's going to be a good starter in the NFL. And that's going to be my big QB play throughout this offseason. I was a little shocked that his stuff was not as expensive as I thought it was going to be. Maybe some people were waiting for the Prism to come out. So look, Clickbait follows up with, because Tyler hasn't really played enough, nor has he played any real good teams. You're all right. There was a lot of Titans. It was a lot of Falcons, Buccaneers, teams that didn't make the playoffs. But
come on, man. Why you have to throw the Buccaneers in there like that?
Y'all were bad at the end of the year.
We started off so good, but that all fell out of whack when players start getting hurt. And then it was like, man, I feel like once a little bit of doubt and like loss creeps into Baker, I mean, he started making some mistakes, man. Started throwing some picks that he really shouldn't have. Although you got to give it to the guy for how scrappy he is. Like, just the head-on collisions, even in the last game against Carolina, like the type of contact that he gets into, and then he gets right up and gets into those guys' faces and just tries to get into the head of the defense so bad. Anyways, I know.
Mr. Tyler, what the shuck is going on?
Yeah, Shuck, it looks really solid, man. Shuck looks really solid.
But I'm telling you right now, I do think over the next couple of months, I'm interested to see what happens to Matthew Stafford's cards if he does get the MVP and if he does win another Super Bowl. I don't know if they're going to win this weekend. They're going to Carolina. They lost versus Carolina. And believe it or not, Andy, they are the biggest road favorite in NFL history in the playoffs.
That's not good. That's not good.
Yeah, that means the Panthers are going to find a way to get it done. But really quickly, we see Tyler Shough's Slab Hawk here. Once again, joined the Football Card Patreon, we can help you out in getting you a Slab Hawk account yourself. And, downtown Tyler Shuck, PSA 10 going for $1K. Okay.
Yeah, we have a few confirmed sales in that 650 range. And that, like, for a quarterback is low because, I mean, you got to consider he's a rookie, so supply is limited. You see a pop of 26 here on the PSA 10s. And look, compared to the rest of the rookie class, like 650, that's low. I mean, even the skill position guys as rookies are going to be 1,500, plus. Go look at some of the other guys. To 18 January 2nd, I'm showing an $1,800 sale here.
Beautiful
auction just this past Friday.
Yeah, that's high. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, you even see the buy it now is December 14th, 1,000. So that card, somebody's making some good money off of the more rare Shuck cards. If we look at I mean, honestly, if you look at his first look, right? This is going to be serial numbered on the back. We'd have to pull his card and see what the actual population of it is raw, because these are, they sell them on Panini's website direct. So you can buy them for basically a 48-hour period. After that, they cut it off. However many were bought is what they print, and they print that on the back of the card. And these typically have a high grade rate. As you see, 63% of the raws were converted to PSA 10. Small sample size right now, just a population of 25, but still that's good early data. Typically what we see is these Panini Instant cards typically have a pretty high gem mint rate.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I feel as if with Shuck, I do think the Saints have a chance to make some noise next year in the division that is otherwise known as a mid division, the NFC South. I mean, goodness gracious, Andy, before getting any football card stuff, what the hell happened to your Tampa Bay Buccaneers? There is no reason for this team to not win the division this year. And what do? You choke down the stretch.
We fired our offensive coordinator just yesterday.
I don't know if that's the guy that should have been fired.
Yeah. I mean, Bowles is, he's had about a 500 record over his career. He's very aggressive on defense. We gave up a lot of big plays down the stretch on defense, and we made some mistakes on offense. I'm not sure the OC was the guy that needed to be fired. If it was Bowles, honestly, yeah, I'm kind of torn between it.
Yeah, I mean, you're just wasting it away. Wasting it. There was no the Panthers have a negative 69 point differential. All right. In just a moment, we'll go through and make our playoff picks. Remember last year, Andy, in the playoff picks, who was the young man that picked every NFC game correct? Who was it? Just remind me.
I think it was you.
I picked every one, and I'm going to do it again this year. I think I have a good little feel on the NFC. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Anything else, Andy, as far as the 2025 card market? Any other takes that you would like to share regarding all the data research you did?
Yeah, so I'll talk about our hype index. Within SlabHawk, we track a lot of data points that go into an algorithm that generates hype indexes. It's eBay demand, it's popularity of the team, it's the record, it's the singular performance stats of the player. It's all that stuff. How young are they? That adds into it. The hype of a player. And so when we talk about the biggest risers and fallers in 2025, obviously we mentioned Drake May. His trajectory tells the real story of 2025. He started the year ranked in the 20s to 40s and then hit number 1 by November, the biggest climb we tracked all year. Jaden Daniels actually held steady, and this was a large part due to his sold volume on a consistent basis on eBay. And then Bo Nix stayed consistent this year. He held the number 2 spot for most of the year, believe it or not. And then Carter Who would your biggest disappointment be this year? According to the data, it was Sam Laporta. He started the
Really?
year ranked number 12, and he dropped all the way down.
That's weird. Sam Laporta.
So Sam Laporta, followed by CJ Stroud. He showed similar regression. He dropped from top 5 early and stayed near the bottom of the QBs for most of the season, even though he's made a slight comeback recently.
Yeah. We did see JSN skyrocket as far as non-QB cards are concerned. And we also saw Puka. That was a good point right there by David Mill Shields. But in particular, Jackson Smith and Jigba just holding it down. You know, I do think Sam Darnold was an interesting player to keep up with during this season. And I think for me, people are very excited to see what he's going to do in the playoffs. Okay. We did see a spike in pretty much everything Sam Darnold this year, which is why it's always important to not just fire sale your high draft capital quarterbacks just for nothing, because so many of them get a spike a little bit later in their career.
Yeah, man. And like Baker, he spiked early in the season, and you see he's probably regressed a little bit, but he spiked early this season. A lot of people become big Baker believers, and I still think he's got a great outlook for the rest of his career. But look at the climb in Sam. Pull up his base Donruss here, and it is now a respectable. It's close to that of Baker Mayfield here, and it's kind of bouncing around. The best sale was a $62 auction January 4th, 4 days ago, but where he came from back in August was just $12 to $20 on this card, based on his PSA 10 from 2018.
Unreal. $12 all the way up to the 50s. It's pretty good stuff. Just buying it bottom of the basement barrel type of stuff. So
because it's 2018, Carter. You go and pull in Josh Allen, that's a $300 card. You pull in Lamar Jackson, that is a $130 card on average. So like big difference there. And that's why we were talking earlier in the year, like, Sam, and people brought him up, like, definitely have some exposure to Sam Darnold because the price is too low to ignore, to pass up. You definitely want to have some exposure, I'm
excited to see what Lamar Jackson's market is going to do. I really am, because I think we will see a dip. I think it'll go down.
Until they get a significant head coach signing. I mean, that could, and it may not react right away, because look at Herbert's market. It did react, but then it quickly flatlined, and he's had to force, like through performance and wins, he's had to, climb his way back up. Or you look at Caleb Williams, similar thing happened to him. And it really, the Ben Johnson head coach signing didn't impact his market too much right away. He really has had to force it through wins and like getting to playoff status.
Family Burnliner had a nice flip via Sam Darnold. So really, really, really good stuff right there.
Nice
for him. All right, we do it every year. We make our playoff picks. We say hi to David in the chat. We clickbait's just absolutely lighting it up. We love to see it. We love the energy. Terry Anderson also in here. Let's go through and make our playoff picks. Right. We do it every year. Okay. Let's start with the AFC. And here we have the Houston Texans playing the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's the Monday night game.
Yes.
The Steelers have come out on top again with Rodgers. I mean, you got to think that this is Rodgers. I mean, if he wins the Super Bowl this year, I would retire if I were him. So I gotta go Steelers here. I feel like there's going to be definitely some nerves from quite a few players on the Texans side. I think CJ's calm and composed back there. Obviously, Davis Mills, very competent backup, can step in and light it up at any point. But I'm gonna go with Steelers here. They're the seasoned vets. You're in a high pressure situation on a Monday night playoff game, and it looks like it's in Pittsburgh too.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going Pittsburgh here.
Strong disagreement here. One of my favorite
Ooh.
sides is the Texans. Remember, this is a Texans team that's really excited to play a wild card game not on Saturday. This is the first time in 7 years. Every other wild card game that they have played has been on the Saturday afternoon game. So they'll play on Monday night. Everyone has shared the Mike Tomlin stat that he's unfreaking believable on Monday Night Football. Sure. But in all other primetime spots and in big spots, including the first round of the playoffs, his team withers. Remember, they are one field goal kick away from not being here. The JSN ending, I say JSN, the Amon-Ra St. Brown ending, you factor that in. A bunch of other fluky results where they barely beat the Jets. The Texans, they have some really, really, really strong wins, okay? Beating the Bills, beating the Chargers on the road. So give me the Texans to win this game. This is one of my stronger positions on the weekend. We get on over to the Jaguars and the Bills, Andy. I'll let you go first.
Ooh, man, this is a spicy game. I got to go Bills here. That's my gut feeling. I feel the Bills are going to make a deep run. I know they've been up and down at different points this year, but they've been here many times. I think I'm gonna go with the Bills in what should be some great weather in Jacksonville.
This has actually featured quite a bit of line movement. Okay, so
Really?
yes, so this opened with Buffalo as the slight favorite at 1.5, and now Jacksonville is the slight favorite at 1.5. If my data is indeed correct, we have had
Interesting.
quite a bit of movement here. So this is interesting, Andy, and you know this. Not a lot of people know this, but I myself am. Oh, you've been sharing your screen. I thought I was sharing mine. Yours is better than the graphic I pulled up. Okay, we'll go to my graphic when we get to the next round. Um, I do personally like the Jaguars in this game. Okay, this is a team who has played some softer opponents down the stretch. Okay, so they played Indianapolis twice. They got to play Indianapolis twice later in the year compared to earlier in the year with the healthy Daniel Jones. It was Daniel Jones who actually tore his ligaments in the game versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. They also played the Jets. So they had an easier schedule down the stretch, but they also did go into Denver and dominate that game. You know, it's interesting when I look at the film, I don't like Jacksonville's defensive tackle pairing. I really don't. I don't like their defensive tackle room a whole heck of a lot, even though I have an acquaintance in that defensive tackle room. But the advanced rushing statistics for the Jaguars actually do set up nicely. They do rank nicely in rushing DVOA, yards per carry, and all those things. And what do the Bills like to do? You think of Josh Allen as a thrower, but this has really been a James Cook team, right? As James Cook won the rushing title. We haven't really talked a whole lot about James Cook's card market ever. But for me, I think this Buffalo defense is about to get eviscerated by Liam Cohen. All right. This is an older running back, or I should say, an older defense that really needs to be ready for Travis Etienne, right? Etienne has been really good this year with the Jaguars. And Trevor Lawrence, you look at his stats compared to that of Josh Allen. Josh Allen is 2x, 3x better of a quarterback than Trevor Lawrence. I'll never cease to admit that. But Trevor's numbers were in lockstep with Josh. And one other thing about Trevor towards the end of the season, played his best football at the end of the year. Andy, did you know Trevor Lawrence in the critical playoff weeks of fantasy football, 15, 16, and 17, he had the highest fantasy point total ever. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yes. That's how big of a heater he was on towards the end of the year. Okay. So now, how do you get fantasy points? You got to run. I mean, yeah, you can throw and have a big, like, Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins type of game, but rushing stats is where it really begins to come into play. And we think of Josh Allen as the big red zone rushing threat, which he is, but Trevor Lawrence has been just as good with his legs over the past couple of weekends in the red zone where it can really help in close games. So give me the Jaguars, even though quite a few people are picking the Bills. Now, let me see the card discrepancy here between ETN. Very cheap.
Yeah, so James Cook is quite a bit higher than ETN, which is interesting because James Cook's a 2022 rookie versus ETN is a 21, and ETN's PSA 10 rate is a lot lower. If you look at his Silver Prism, just a 31% raw to PSA 10, and not a whole lot have been great. It's only a pop of 59. Yeah, so you look at that, only a couple hundred Silver Prisms have been graded for ETN, and you go to James Cook, and it's not a big population either, but look at the grade rate of raw to PSA 10, 60% from 2022 for James Cook, like way better. And the recent sales are showing that card around 120 to 150 compared to ETN's at just $50. Or actually, the latest December 31st was 75. That was a considerable jump over the previous average, as you can see here, of like $50.
All right, let's get to the next game. You have Bills, I have Jaguars, and let's go down the AFC pipeline here to the Chargers and the Patriots. Andy, I'll go first. I do like New England in this game. You can get into the strength of schedule. The Chargers playing a tougher schedule than the Patriots. We had this MVP discussion between Drake May and Matthew Stafford about the strength of schedule. I do think that discussion is a bit overblown, but I do like the Patriots to win this game. What say you, Andy?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game, honestly. I think there's a potential for the Chargers to upset here. There's also a potential. I think this is an overtime candidate game. But, I think it comes down to, can the Chargers – yeah, man, it's going to be close. Can the Chargers defensively stop Drake May and the Patriots? Drake May's been so good, man. That whole team has been so good. So I'm going to go with Patriots. I'm leaning towards Patriots, though. I don't think they can stop them, and I don't think they'll be able to keep up toe-to-toe. I think there'll be a mistake in there somewhere.
All right, so share my screen, Andy, so we can go through the next round here and do our full playoff predictions, okay? So it doesn't change for either one of us, or actually it does, okay? So for your bracket, it would be Broncos versus the Bills in the divisional.
Yeah, it would be Broncos because it's the highest seed versus the lowest seed.
Yes.
So yeah, the Bills are the lowest seed. Yeah, would be Broncos, Bills in the divisional.
And you would have who?
Broncos, Bills. I would have the Bills.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Bills again.
All right. And then in the divisional, you would have the Patriots hosting the Steelers.
Yeah, which I'm gonna go Patriots in that case.
Okay. And then for me in this round, I would have Texans versus Broncos. Andy, we got to dig this up from the streams. I seriously picked the Broncos to win the AFC West, and I seriously consider them as Super Bowl contenders. I don't know if you remember that or not. I was really high on the Broncos, and I'm going to stick with it, even though I do think the Texans can win this game, and I do think this would be a legendary game. Give me the Broncos to the AFC Championship game. And then we have, for me, the Jaguars versus the Patriots in that next round. And I am actually going to lean with the Jaguars, the Jacksonville Jaguars. And we're going to have the Broncos versus the Jaguars in the AFC Championship game. And Andy, I am going to go with the Broncos with Sean Payton playing in the Super Bowl. And in your Super Bowl matchup, you have a completely different one. You have Bills versus the Patriots in a rematch.
Yeah, that's true. And I've got the Bills winning that game.
Dang, dude, you are riding Josh Allen.
I am.
To the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I am.
Very interesting. And This would be a rematch. The Patriots have pretty much taken care of business in both games. Remember, it took a Josh Allen ridiculous comeback. So they played on Sunday Night Football earlier in the year, and the Patriots won. Then they played a game in Foxborough, and Josh Allen had a ridiculous comeback, and there you go. So Andy has the Bills in the Super Bowl. I have the Broncos. We now go over to the NFC. Start off here with the Rams and the Panthers, Andy.
I mean, I hate for everybody to vote for the Rams, and then it's like they get crazy upset. But it's got to be the Rams, right?
Yeah, I'm leaning Rams as well. We then get to 49ers and Eagles.
Oh, man. This is going to be a slugfest. Oh, man. I'm going to go with the Eagles come out on top.
Okay. And then we have another three-peat here, Bears versus Packers.
This is probably the most exciting game out of this entire bracket. I'm serious. In this wild card round, Bears, Packers. Oh my goodness. What a match. I'm going with the Packers here. I'm going to go with the Packers. They've got this system. I think they're going to come out on top. I know they've got a few injuries that are concerning, that they've taken a hit, and the Bears are they're rolling. So, but I think the Packers are going to win this game.
Yeah. So this is the fourth consecutive year the Green Bay Packers have been the 7 seed. So, which is nuts. So they wouldn't have made the playoffs had the rules never changed. I'm going to go Rams, Eagles, and Bears here. So we do get the 3-2 matchup, and we do get a 1-5 matchup. Seattle and the Rams. Andy, I'll go first here. I like the Rams winning this one. What say you?
Ooh, I was going to go Rams too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some mistakes by Sam Darnold in this game. Nerves will get to him.
And then we have Eagles and the Bears for me. Actually, no, you said you picked the Packers, correct?
Yeah, I got the Eagles and the Packers.
Okay.
And the Eagles are going to win that.
So then that changes. The Packers would then go to Seattle.
Oh, yeah, that's true. The Packers would go to Seattle for me, which does change a lot. I think the Packers would still win that game. I think the Packers could win that game. I'm going to go with the Packers beating Seattle.
Okay, Packers with newly acquired Trayvon Diggs all the way to the NFC Championship game. I would have the Eagles and the Bears in round 2, and I do like the Eagles. And for me, it would be a really fun rematch between the Eagles and the Rams. And for me, I do have the Rams winning 3 consecutive road games to get to the Super Bowl. And Andy, your NFC Championship game would pretty much create an interesting dilemma. You would have in the second round, the Rams versus the
Eagles?
Yes.
Yeah. Rams versus Eagles, which I think Eagles come out on top.
Okay.
And then so in the championship game, you've got the Packers versus the Eagles. And I'm going Eagles in that game.
Okay. And then in my championship,
back to the Super Bowl.
In my championship game, it'll be the Eagles and the Rams, and I do have the Rams. So my Super Bowl is Broncos and Rams, and your Super Bowl would be Eagles and Bills.
Yeah, and the Bills are going to win.
Dang, dude, I can't freaking believe you're going Josh Allen to win his first Super Bowl. Josh Allen.
I'm going off of Fields, man. I don't know why. Can't explain it. But I love, this is why you guys tune in, right? Carter provides excellent data points. He's not totally going off of vibes here. Right? Josh has been to a championship game how many times? So, it's obviously in his resume to at least get that far. But Carter, I love the data points that you bring, the DBOA ratings, the strength of all the different components of each of these teams as of right now. Yeah, I mean, injuries play a big role. So I could honestly, like, if thinking about it, like the Packers could easily get eliminated this round, and that would change my NFC bracket,
I mean, they're missing the most valuable asset on defense, Micah
I
Parsons.
know.
And the thing about your bracket, Andy, is that you have so many road teams winning. Okay. And I think you didn't pick to go to the second round the best road team, arguably, of them all, which is the Texans, and you picked the Steelers. I just love how different our picks were. I didn't expect that going into it. Okay. And then the Super Bowl matchup, you have the Bills winning it all. I have Broncos and Rams. Yeah, I think the Rams.
Wait, you got Broncos and Rams? You think the Rams are going to beat the Eagles in the championship game? Was that
I
it?
do. Yes.
Ooh, see, I
Yes.
like that too. I mean, honestly, I could see yours working out, right? I'm going to stick with mine, but I like where your head's at on this. I think that's a very interesting Super Bowl. So you got Sean Payton, the Broncos, versus McVay, Stafford, and the Rams. Who do you got in that game?
Yeah, I think I got to go Stafford, man. Playing too good. Team is great. They got a great pass rush, great group of defensive tackles. Back seven is shaky, but overall, O-line's good, receivers good, running back's good. I got a Super Bowl winning head coach already. I have a matchup between two coaches that have won Super Bowls. So I'm going to go Rams.
Yeah, they stay healthy. That's the thing with their offense. One injury to one of those key players, I think they're done. It's over.
Yeah. So we then get into football cards before we go. Hobby tip of the week, Andy.
Hobby tip of the week. So yeah, I love to look at blowout cards. I love to look at what the sealed market is doing. Yeah, this week, because we already talked about sealed wax. I'm gonna wrap up with this. Going back to slabhawk.com, guys, you really should check it out. I mean, what we're charging for that is very little compared to what that platform is doing. So I want to just share a couple things that we added in 2025 that we improved to the app. We added 97,000 plus cards, and we ended the year just shy of 5 million sales tracked, worth over $129 million. We had 96 new users join us this year. All of those users added a total of 18,012 cards to their collections. So those are part of the 4 big features that we added to SlabHawk, was the ability to track your collection. I'm gonna add this to the stage real quick, Carter.
Yeah.
The ability to track your collection, but also sync your eBay account to SlabHawk. You can come on SlabHawk and you can actually sync your eBay account, and it will go into your eBay account. Mine's already synced, and I have to refresh it or something, but you have to go in. You can sync your eBay account. You can sell cards from SlabHawk. You can also, it tracks raw cards now, and we have in-depth error logging like this right here. If you had, for example, if you had an error, right? And this is probably just something with my web because I'm doing all kinds of stuff at the same time. But we added those features. We also fixed 372 bugs. 38% of those bugs were reported by users, while the other 62% were discovered by logging. And in 2026, we're going to continue working on this. We're going to try and add in non-rookie cards. We're going to try and add in basketball. We're going to try and add in baseball and all kinds of stuff. So, and it's homegrown. So you have a direct connection with the developer and myself and the actual web developer. So that's what I got, and very, very proud of what they've been able to do for the past year on that, and look forward to 2026.
My hobby tip of the week. And by the way, how could people get access to a Slab Hawk?
Slabhawk.com, man. Slabhawk.com.
Yeah. I got set up at a really fun card show this weekend. Andy, I actually did someone send you this for my hobby tip of the week? Someone clipped my hobby tip of the week, sent it to the guy that I was talking about, and he posted it on Instagram. Did you know that?
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, "That's so cool, man." I was let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah, the guy it was from a while ago. It's a guy named Keane, Keane, and we'll try and get him on pretty soon. You know, for me, I want to talk about card shows. Okay, I set up at another card show this past weekend, and what I did, Andy, was I have some Meta AI sunglasses, and I recorded a lot of my interactions. And I do not have a whole lot of liquid stuff. I really don't. Like, I have a bunch of LSU PC deeper cut. Yeah, I'm a collector more than a mover, right? And I was sitting next to a table. One was a table that does like these custom cutouts, and there's another guy who did have big time liquid stuff. And as far as sales are concerned, this was, a show in Louisiana and Shreveport. Did his stuff move? Yeah, it moved. It moved like crazy. But I gave out a bunch of my stuff. I was just so tired of seeing it. And it was kind of shorter prints and Will Campbell autograph photos and all of that. But I also was as friendly as I could be, starting up conversations. And one thing that really helped me out, and it might not help other people out in the same way, I talked to the spouses that were dragged into the show, and I asked them their name, okay? And that increased my sales. I promise you it did. Because the person that came over was like, oh God, I hate that I have, it's just in the back of your mind. I hate that I have my wife here, or I hate that I have my mother here. They're just dragged along. You could look on their faces, they're ready to go. You get them in a good mood. And then that guy is like, oh God, look, she's finally having a good time at the show. And then the same one I always do, Andy, I ask their name and then I try and spell it. I do it every single time. And it makes them happy. I don't know why. It just makes the lady happy, makes the guy happy, and they want to buy stuff. It's insane. But I love card shows. I really do. I love setting up at card shows. And there's a piece of me that wants to sell everything that I own. Literally, this PS5 I haven't turned on in 7 years, and just go all in on card flipping, buying, selling, because it is so much fun. So big shout out there when I came out to the Shreveport card show. And on top of that, being super nice to your customers is of the utmost important. Okay. But the utmost importance. And by the way, I wasn't flirting. I wasn't doing that. I was just, hey, how are you doing? I always try and talk to the people where it's clear that they aren't into cards as much as a person that is there trying to do business. I try to do that at the beginning of every single one. And sometimes it was another guy there that was there with a friend, and he might not be into sports, but he's into Pokemon, all right, or something else. So that is so important. And we wouldn't have had a stream. I don't know if Andy did that on purpose as a joke. He always has his camera going absolutely insane. We saw to Terry. He says Keen's a good dude. There you go. Clickbaits says my call is Seattle versus New England, and the Fighting Sam Darnolds take home the Lombardi Trophy.
Ooh, wow.
David says McVay wins his second Super Bowl and retires. How about that? All right, Andy. It's time for our cameraless play of the week. And
I swear my camera's on. Oh, here we go.
There you go.
Back in action. All right. So I got a couple. Well, no, I'm gonna give one because the other one might be yours. And I've wrote this guy up. I wrote him up a little early because he came back from a hamstring injury, which this guy is like notorious for hamstring injuries. But when he's healthy and he's on the field with Jordan Love, he's on fire. And so if the Packers progress in the playoffs, Christian Watson is going to be a big part of it. And so if you look, the Bears give up the third most fantasy points to opposing wide receiver. And so I think with, this is going to be a shootout game now with some of the injuries on defense. And if the Packers win this game, I think Christian Watson's going to be a big part of it. And I really like Christian Watson's 2022 market. His rookie ticket auto PSA 10 is under $100. Like it's like a $75 card. That's where I buy it at. That's a great value, man, because I think the raw ones could get to that point if he gets hot enough. The thing is, with a couple hamstring injuries and whatnot that he's had during the regular season, I think he'd have to be more consistent. But now that we're in the playoffs, a single game performance with a couple touchdowns and some big plays, man, is enough to create some nice hype. And I'd be looking at him on comc.com to electronically flip without ever having to take that physical possession, so you can speed up that sales cycle, potentially, buy cards today, tomorrow, Thursday, and then sell them this weekend. Or it is Thursday today, tomorrow, and then sell them this weekend.
Get your
man,
please. God bless America.
Right?
One thing that's crazy is you could still buy, and this is important. Tight ends just don't do anything in football cards. I wish they did, because it's still crazy. You can get good Trey McBride cards for relatively cheap, which is insane. I saw a few nice rookie ticket auto Trey McBride cards over the weekend, and $55. I was like, this guy just had the greatest tight end season maybe ever, and it's nothing. And he's on a bad team, and obviously the Cardinals and all of that. Andy, I think this one is I got two for you. Alec Pierce, rookie ticket autos are still affordable to me. I think he's going to go to some team. They're going to overpay him. And just by the buzz of the contract alone, I think we could see a spike before next season.
Ooh, that's a good play, man.
You got to remember, going into the season, think about the Indianapolis Colts passing room. Okay, you had Josh Downs, you had Tyler Warren, you had Michael Pittman, and you also had A.D. Mitchell. And Alec Pierce, for most of the season, was better than those guys. With what? The ghost of Daniel Jones?
Come on now. The ghost of DJ? Oh, man.
Riley Leonard? And he still produced outside of week 17, where he gave me 0 fantasy points. I'm still not salty about that, Alec. Don't worry about that. I'm not salty about that at all. But Alec Pierce, to me, is pretty obvious. You can get some of his rookie ticket auto horizontal variations for like $7. So I think that's
really,
yeah.
Dude, that's floor price. That is a floor price.
Yeah, and I know not everyone's into horizontal cards, but there you go.
But see, honestly, where your head's at right now is where these guys' heads should be at for long term. Like if you're going to buy stuff off of eBay, you need to be thinking a couple months out. Like, and Alec Pierce is a great play. You get ahead of that free agency to draft hype window there from March to May. And you look at Alec Pierce with rookie ticket auto PSA 10s at $33. I love this play, Carter. Love it, man. Great job.
And then another would be Malik Willis. I just think that one's too obvious. That's just way too obvious. Some team is going to want him. All right. Quarterback market is just, it is what it is at this point. Some teams going to want him. So obviously you need to pay attention to pricing, because quarterback pricing can get up there. But I think it's okay to spend $100, $200 on some short print autos and all of that. Saw rookie ticket auto variation for Malik go for $40. And this would be, to me, a preseason flip because he's obviously going to work with an offensive coach like that of LaFleur with the Packers. And part of the value of Willis being a backup for the Packers, you are more effective as a quarterback if you are coming in for another quarterback who doesn't run. Jordan Love does not run. Even though he has pretty good athleticism and he does have rushing ability, he just does not run. Malik Willis does run. So part of his effectiveness is he's coming into the game and the defense set a game plan for a quarterback that doesn't run. He comes in, he's good, and they're still a good play caller. It opens a separate set of plays for what LaFleur can do. So I am skeptical wherever he goes next, but Malik Willis would be someone I'm looking at. And I wish these were not as expensive and that line wasn't going up. But you can ask Derek in the chat. I was drafting Malik Willis in best ball in hopes that Jordan Love was going to get hurt and I would have, an edge over the field with a guy like Malik Willis. But there you go.
Yeah, he has gone up 42% increase on his rookie ticket auto PSA 10 since before the season. I mean, dude, look at what you could have got that card for. This is why I love buying at the end of October too, by the way. Look at this. I mean, you could have got his rookie ticket auto PSA 10 for 40 to 50 bucks. And now it's like selling pretty easily. There's a sale here Monday, 3 days ago for $300, man.
Insane. So,
yeah. So, it's probably going to go up more,
I mean, the ship might have already sailed.
Man, because look, so this is what I do. If we're looking at his class here, 2022, I'll come over here to the players tab and just type in 2022. And real quick, okay, Brock Purdy, boom. Now I'm going to come back here and say Malik Willis and compare Malik Willis with Brock Purdy and see, because if Malik Willis with his dual threat ability, and if he gets signed as a starting job on a decent market team, I think there's a good chance here we could see Malik Willis have some pretty decent prices. So I want to compare and see what he's got compared to Brock Purdy, which obviously Brock Purdy is dominating this market. So what we do is then we type in Panini Prism and filter this down so that we can get, boom, now we can see the rookie Silver Prism rookie auto Brock Purdy PSA 10, $1,500. Malik Willis, $266. Trend right now, or $200. Even look, buy it now sale Saturday, January 3rd, $200. And I can imagine there's going to be a little dip here if the Packers are eliminated, right? So $200. He gets a little bit of a dip until we get to that free agency hype cycle. So you're looking to buy that Silver Prism PSA 10 for Malik around $200, and you're looking at Brock Purdy like, holy cow. I mean, and I'm not expecting Malik to get up to $1,500, but hey, he could easily get up to $500-$600 on that card. That's a very desirable, gold standard card for an NFL player.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, look at it, just his base Silver Prism PSA 10. Current trend, 133. Sure, it's gone up. You could have got it for $30-$40.
God.
If anybody's still selling those for $50 at a card show and hasn't, caught up, then buy it, steal it. Anything under 100, really, right? When you're looking at that current trend. But then you look at the Brock Purdy, you're like, okay, it's a $600 card. And yeah, you look at other draft classes around them. Go look, but not Trevor Lawrence, but that's a totally different animal because only very few PSA 10s. But look at other draft classes from 2020 and then go forward to 2023. Look at the other quarterbacks, Silver Prism PSA 10 with populations around 1,000, and you're going to see that card $600 if they're a decent player. And so Brock Purdy, Malik Willis's population on that card is only 71, Carter, with a 59% grade weight. So there's an opportunity there to buy Silver Prism Malik Willis raw, grade it with PSA, get it back for the free agency hype cycle window, and potentially like make a ton of profit and just buy the PSA 10 for around $100. Look, this card's going to go up, Carter. I mean, I think it could easily go up to 300-400. You know, maybe it doesn't go up to 600 until he really proves himself on that new team. But just the signing, the news causes it to go up to 250 to 350 kind of thing, you know?
I mean, there's just so much, because you got to remember, this is not a good QB draft class. All right. So you have got to factor that in. I think some team is going to give Malik Willis a legitimate shot to be their starter. So be ready for that. I'm also interested to see my Commanders hire Mike McDaniel, to be Jaden Daniels' offensive coordinator.
Ooh.
Because remember,
yeah, that's true. There's quite a few. There's 8 coaches that were fired this week.
Yeah.
And Cliff Kingsbury was one of them. I would love to see a comeback year for Jaden. New OC, healthy.
It's guaranteed. It's guaranteed, baby.
There you go, man. Put it out there.
You better be ready for it. But yeah, that'll do it for us. Big thanks to you, Andy, firing up the stream. Stay tuned. Look at the YouTube community page, but more importantly, join our Discord. Okay, patreon.com/footballcards. Big thanks to Family Burliner, Terry, David, Clickbaits, everyone, and we'll see you on the next show. Peace.
Peace, y'all. Happy New Year. Get after it.
Boom, boom, boom.